Hi, I'm Sarah with Core Motion Fitness. Welcome to your morning stretch routine. We're going to take 30 minutes right now to go ahead and warm up our body and move into some deep stretches for our full body and activate our core so that we are ready for our day. So go ahead and join me. All you need is a mat. We're going to start in the standing position with our feet underneath our hips, rolling our shoulders back into place, taking some nice deep breaths as you do so. And then clasp your hands together and push both of your hands up overhead, squeezing through your glutes, lifting up and back. And release those arms to the side. And let's go ahead and roll our shoulders again. And taking both hands together, big exhale up. And one more time. Finding more mobility in the shoulders every single time we go through this. And both arms reach up overhead on your exhale. And release your hands back by your sides, making sure your feet are hip distance apart, starting to mobilize through our back, picking up our heel as we rotate side to side. And then letting those arms go a little bit longer and heavier and wrapping around our body. Continuing to take nice deep breaths as you move through these movements. And let's hold it to our right side, wrapping our hands around our hips. And repeat to the other side. Great job. Come back through the center. And we're going to begin to tip our head side to side. So pressing your hands down, keeping your knees soft. Just tilt your head side to side. Being mindful that your shoulders are not lifting up. And then let's go ahead and take our head and turn it right to left. So starting from the center, keeping your hips and shoulders level, turn your head all the way to the right, keeping your knees and hips pointing forward. And exhale to the other side. And repeat. Great job. Let's go ahead and take our chin down toward our chest, feeling a nice release in our upper back and neck. And then let your gaze go up toward the sky. And repeat. And let's try that one more time. It feels so good. And release right back through the center. Both arms come up overhead and then press back down. So just waking up through our shoulders, back and chest. Palms up on the way up and pressing down on the way down. Good. Keeping in mind that your knees should still be soft. Never want to lock out our legs. And one more time, lift those arms up and release. Great job. Take all of your weight and shift it to your right side. And you can begin by just tapping the left toe, or you can lift your leg off of the ground. I want you to start feeling all the muscles in your feet starting to work to keep you grounded, balanced. Great. Now lift your knee up and gently tap it back to the ground. And we'll take one more. And now we're going to change positions. We're going to move our leg to the side. So take that leg out to the side, just challenging our body to balance, engage our core. And one more time. Great job. We're going to take this leg to the back now. So bending the stabilizing leg, tap to the back, and then right back into the center. And for our final balance challenge, you are going to take your moving leg and bring it behind your standing leg and then tap to the side. And hands can go wherever you're most comfortable. Keeping in mind that you want your whole foot gripping the floor, being mindful not to rock onto the outside of your foot. And last one. Great job. Go ahead and take that foot, rotate the ankle around, and then let's go ahead and shift our weight to the other side. So now we're standing on our left foot, and go ahead and hold here for a moment. Find your balance. Once you've got it, lift your knee up and then tap it down. Now it's really easy to sink into our standing leg, so lift tall through your midsection. Keep your standing leg soft. And one more time right here. Great job. Let's take this to the side now. So just some lateral movement in the hips, being mindful that our hips stay nice and centered, trying not to lift one higher than the other. And one more time. And now that leg goes to the back. So soft bend in the knee, tap back, and then stand all the way up. And just barely resting your back toe to the ground. One more time here. And then let's take that leg behind. So go at an angle behind and then tap to the side. So really feeling the waking up in your ankles, calves, Achilles, bottoms of our feet. And let's try one more time here. And release. I'm going to come to the end of my mat, so you can join me now. We're going to hinge at our hips here. Feel a nice release in our hamstrings. And then stand back up. Continue to hinge. So the knees are soft, your tailbone is elevated. Feeling some movement through our hips and low back as well. And one more time. And from here, all we're going to do is crouch down onto the ground. So take yourself into your hinge, bend both knees, reach your hands to the ground, and crouch here and hold. If you need to separate your feet, you may do that as well. Great job. And from here, we're just going to go onto our knees. So take your hands out in front of you. We're going to rock to our knees, feel a stretch in the bottoms of your feet, and then rock back. Good, let's do that again. Rock down to the knees and rock back one more time. And coming into that kneeling position, hold here. Again, we're feeling that release through the bottoms of our feet. Great job. Now release your foot one at a time and bring your hands up to your hips, squeezing through your glutes, lift up and back into a spinal extension. And then release. And if you would like a little bit more, take your fingers behind your ears and open through the front of the body. And release. One more time here, again, making sure the glutes are squeezing tight. Open the elbows to the side. And release. Great job. All right, let's go ahead and go onto our back. So lie on your back. We're going to first begin by releasing ankles and calves, all right? So we're going to take one leg straight, flexing your foot that is extended out, and bring your other knee into your body. You can hold behind the knee, you can hold on top of the knee, whatever is most comfortable for you. And we're going to start with ankle rotations, and you're going to do quite a few of these. So flexing your bottom foot, ankle rotations in one direction, and then switch to the other direction, trying to get 10 full rotations in this ankle joint, which is made to rotate. Great job. And one more time, stretch your leg all the way up, holding behind your hamstring. I want you to point those toes, feel the stretch on the top of the ankle, and then flex, driving your heel to the sky. Again, your bottom leg is still flexed. And again, we're going to do 10 point and flex on this leg. And if you need to have that knee bent a little, that's all right. Try to relax your shoulders and head into the mat. And one more time. Very good. And bring that knee into your body and then stretch it up nice and tall. And again, bring the knee in, hug it tight, and stretch it up. Keep going. And one more time here. And then lower that leg slowly down to your mat and bring your other knee into your body. Again, remember that your straight leg has a flexed foot, and we'll begin with those ankle rotations, 10 in one direction and 10 in the opposite direction. And take a switch to the other direction. Great work. And take your leg all the way up, pointing the toes and flexing. Really working through the whole foot, bringing your toes towards your body and then to the sky. And let's do 2 more right here. Good. Hug your knee back into your body. Give it a big squeeze and then extend the leg up. And again, big squeeze and extend the leg up. Keeping in mind your hips should be nice and neutral on the ground. And let's try 2 more right here. Great job. And moving on. Flex that foot all the way down. Great work. We're going to roll over onto our front side, onto our hands and knees. So beginning right here in a tabletop position, tuck your toes back behind you. We're going to shoot our hips up into a downward facing dog. So first a little stretch here, and then hips go high as we rock back. And then go back to that kneeling position, rolling through the bottoms of your feet. Stay for a moment. And on your exhale, press up and back, lowering your heels to the mat. And inhale, come back down. And exhale, up and back. Great job. One more time. Inhale down. And exhale, up and back. Hold. We're going to stay in this downward dog position. We're going to put a little more weight into one foot than the other. So go ahead and really drop your right heel to the ground, and your left heel pops off the ground. And you can kind of shift your body weight side to side here as you feel that release through the back of the leg, of the straight leg. While you're doing this, also think about letting your chest melt into your thighs, trying not to be in a rounded spine, but feeling that nice natural curve in the back. And then go ahead and switch to the other side. Drop your left heel, lift your right heel. Okay, stay there for a moment, and then as you feel the need, go ahead and shift your hips side to side, keeping the foot planted on the ground. Great work. And both heels are planted. We're going to drop our knees down to the ground, and then hips go high. So coming up onto the balls of the feet and then trying to drop our heels down one more time. And hold. Great work. Let's bring our body into a nice tabletop position again. This time, I'm going to turn so you can see me. This time, I'm going to take my right foot and bring it down to the ground right next to my left knee. So getting into this position, we're going to rock our hips back so our heel is flat on the ground. And this might be enough stretch for your ankle, for your anterior tibialis, for your Achilles. But if you'd like a little bit more, roll your shoulders back in place. It's the thinker, so you're thinking. And then just lean forward without lifting your back heel off the ground. So let me show you from that side view here. So without popping the heel, let your body weight shift forward. Great job. Now from here, we're going to lift our hips up. So your back toes, okay, your kneeling leg, your toes are going to tuck under the ground, and we're going to rock our hips up and back. Now this may not be the best position for you. Maybe you'd like to have your hands up off of the ground. Completely up to you. And then we'll go back to that kneeling position, releasing our back toes, again, sinking into it, tipping forward ever so slightly. And then again, tuck your back toes, hands to the ground, and rock back. You're feeling most of that stretch in the front hamstring. And one more time, drop it down. Again, release your toes to the ground, your heel to the ground, and then lean forward. That lean is where you're really going to feel the stretch on the front of your leg. And then tuck your back toes, rock back. And release. Let's go back to our tabletop position. So walk your hands out in front of you, knees to the ground, and we are going to switch to the other leg. Okay, so now your other foot is flat on the ground, heels grounded. Okay, we're kind of sitting upright to begin with, figuring out if this is a great spot for us. But if we want a little bit more, we reach our hands to the side, we lean forward without popping that heel, and just breathe here for a moment. And then tucking your back toes, hands to the ground, shift your hips up and back. Again, modify by having your hands on your leg. And then release the knee back to the ground, toes release, and we sit up tall and tip forward. Let's try that one more time. So hands on the ground and hips back. And bring your knee back to the mat. Lift up your chest. Always reset the body. Sometimes we curve forward, so reset. Hinge at the hips forward. And let's finish this sequence with that hamstring stretch. So fingers to the ground, tuck your toes, and rock your hips up and back. Great job. We're going to move into some hip and back stretches. So let's go ahead and bring our body back to our kneeling position and tabletop position here. And now I'm going to ask you to put your elbows on the ground and clasp your hands together. So we're going to just move into a dolphin stretch. But before we do that, I'd like you to really feel your hips tilt up and find that nice natural curve in the lumbar spine. And then rock back and reach your arms out in front as your hips go back. Good, and tuck your toes again and lift your chest, lift your tailbone. And let the toes release to the mat as you shift your body weight back. And that might be enough stretch right there, and you want to stay in those positions, you're welcome to do that. Otherwise, we are going to go ahead and tuck our toes and lift our hips up off of the mat. Walk our feet in just a touch, still keeping that sway in the low back, letting our chest melt into our thighs, shifting our hips back, and hold here for just a moment. Great work. Bring your knees to your mat and walk your legs out behind you. And we're just going to lift our chest up as we release our toes to the mat. Take your hands, place them shoulder distance apart, opening your hands. And release. Bring yourself all the way down to the mat, nose to the mat, and let's try that again. Roll yourself up off of the mat, palms open wide, glutes squeezing tight here. Great work. One more time. Inhaling in the bottom, and exhale, lift yourself up and hold here. Great job. Take your hands, place them underneath your shoulders, press yourself up off of the mat into a child's pose. So reach your hands out in front of you, palms down to begin with. And then begin to walk your hands wider. So you're in a big V position here with your hands. Okay, maybe even not all the way out to a T, but just a little bit wider. Nose to the ground. Now we're going to rotate in the shoulder joint and make fists with our hands, with our thumbs up. So a little hitchhiker child's pose here. And hopefully you can feel that more through the upper back. Great work. And take your hands back into tabletop position. We'll just roll through a couple of cat-cows, inhaling as you lift and exhaling as you release. Good. One more time. Big inhale here. And exhale, release. Great work. Let's go ahead and move into our hips. So roll over onto your back. Go ahead and take your right knee and bring it into your body. You're going to press on your right knee with both hands. Okay, so while we do this, we're leveling out our hips. Okay, we're engaging through our abdominals, so pressing our back to the mat. Now I'd like you to take your bottom leg and drive your heel to the ground and pull, okay, like you're trying to drag your heel to your hips. While you're doing that, you're pushing against this front knee, and you'll find that your hips are leveling. Great job. Bring both knees into the body and rock side to side. And we'll do that again on that same side. So bring your right knee in, left heel to the ground, and actively push against that leg as you're pulling with the opposite heel. And then bring your knees into your body. And again, rocking side to side. And then let's begin with the other side. So bring your left knee in and right heel to the ground. Again, pulling with that right leg, pushing the hands against your left. And again, feel those hips go nice and level to the ground. Great job. Hug your knees to your body and rock side to side. And let's try it again. Heel to the ground and press against that front knee. And bring your knees back to your body and rock side to side. Good. We're going to change this into small circles on our low back, finding that mobility in the hips. And then go in the opposite direction as well. Small little circles. Great job. Bring both feet together and let your knees come open into a frog position. Trying not to arch the back off the ground, but just keep the hips in a nice neutral position. Feeling a nice opening through our hips. Just lay here and rest for a moment. Now if you'd like a little bit more in this stretch, take your palms up and the backs of your hands to the ground. And just enjoy a nice deep breath through your nose, along with a big exhale through an open mouth. And again. Great job. One more deep inhale. And exhale. Nice work. Taking your hands by your side, lift your hips up off of the mat and hold. And slowly lowering your hips down to the mat. And exhale up again. And inhale down. And let's try that one more time. Great work. And inhale down. All right, moving into our final phase of this morning stretch, and that is core activation. So go ahead and take yourself onto your hands and knees, rolling over onto your hands and knees. Elbows are going to come to the mat. We're going to walk our knees out past our hips and tuck our hips in toward our belly button. Okay, so if your hips are lifted, just tuck them under and hold right here. Now your heels can be together, your legs can be apart, it really doesn't matter. We're gonna hold this position here. I want you to feel your abdominals engaging as you hold tight and you feel your hips and your ribs close to one another. And then take your toes to the ground, lift up into a full plank position and stay. And inhale, lower the knees, lift your legs off the ground, retuck the hips. And toes to the ground, press up into a full plank and hold. And knees to the ground one more time. Lift the heels, tuck the hips ever so slightly here, pressing away from the ground. And toes to the mat, lift into that plank and hold right here. Stay in a nice strong plank position. Now separate your hands shoulder distance apart and starting to feel the activation through the upper back and also allowing those upper parts of the abdominals to start working hard to support your body. Flex your feet, press through your heels, then hold for 3 and 2 and 1. Lower your knees to the mat, rock back into a child's pose, flip your palms up. Great work. Go ahead and bring your body onto the side and let's take one elbow down to the mat. Knees are stacked on top of each other and we're going to go into a nice mermaid pose. So we're going to reach our hips up and extend our arm up over our body. Modification is to drop one knee. Otherwise, hold here. And then inhale, lower the knees to the ground. Sweep the arm by your side and exhale up again. Trying to lift your hips higher and higher every single time. And inhale, release down. And one more time, exhale up. Great job. And then bend both knees and slide them in and go ahead and wrap that extended arm around your body and lift up and over to the side. And now your top arm will come to the ground and we'll finish with a stretch. Good, one more time on each side. Wrap the body, lift up and over. And release. And come back to center and switch the legs to the other side, bringing your elbow down to the mat. Reach your arm up and lift your hips high. Great job. Inhale down and exhale, lift again, stacking the shoulder up over the elbow. And inhale down. And for the last one, let's lift our hips even higher. And inhale down and press yourself up to a seated position and wrap your arm around your body. Bottom arm comes up and over. And take that hand to the ground and stretch all the way up and over. Let's repeat that one more time. Wrap your body, turn your head. And release. Great job. Go ahead and sit up. Cross your legs, however you're most comfortable. Place your hands next to you on the ground. And again, let's finish up with a couple of neck stretches as we tilt our head side to side. And turn your head right to left, finding more mobility through your neck and upper back. And finishing with our chin down and up. Great work. Take a big inhale. I hope you feel wonderful and ready for your day. On your exhale, roll your shoulders back and around. Thank you for joining me today for your morning stretch, and I will see you again soon.